This is the story of Toru Honda, who is living on the Soma family's property after an intense family tragedy. Soon enough, she finds that almost 13 members of the family are possessed by the Chinese zodiac animals. They turn into their animal forms whenever they get stressed, weak, or have intimate physical contact with a member of the opposite sex. With time, Toru gets to learn about all the hardships faced by these members and tries to help them through their roller coaster of a life. Our protagonist, Toru Honda, comes out of her tent to welcome a new day. She looks up at the sky, realizing even more that she is an orphan. She starts walking to school and notices a house. Has it always been there? Her curiosity gets the better of her and she decides to check it out. What's the worst that can happen in a creepy old house? As she reaches the house, the first thing she notices are the zodiac ornaments on the porch. This is when Shigeru makes his first of many appearances and has a conversation about the ornaments with her. Yuki is also introduced as Shigeru's cousin. Yuki and Toru walk to school together, and Toru actually doesn't mind it. At the school, Toru is bullied by the Prince Yuki fan club trio for the first time and doesn't know how to defend herself. Luckily, Saki and Arisa come to her rescue. Toru goes to work after school and finally reaches back in her tiny tent. Shigeru and Yuki find her there and bring her back to their house. To make matters worse, a landslide strikes near her tent. However, she isn't homeless just yet. Shigeru and Yuki invite her to live with them. Toru runs to the postman in a state of urgency, carrying the animal forms of Shigeru, Yuki, and Kyo. It's revealed that a wooden plank hits her head, causing her to touch them accidentally. The postman thinks that she is crazy after she asks him to do something. What will he know about turning animals back to humans? The postman continues his route, and Shigeru explains the curse. It's revealed that the Soma family has had this curse for generations, and being touched by the opposite sex makes them transform into an animal. He states the obvious since it is evident that he turns into a dog. Yuki is the rat while Kyo turns into a cat. He understandably warns her that they are naked after transforming back to being humans. This embarrasses Toru, making her run into the wall. Kyo joins Toru in Yuki's school, making most of the girls swoon over him. As other students start investigating his relationship with Yuki, when he escapes through the window, his social anxiety knows no bounds apparently. When Yuki finds him, he reveals his concern about the girls making physical contact, which can cause him to transform. Toru overhears their conversation where Yuki intensely wants to take his place in the family. A fight breaks out between them, making Toru intervene to restrain Kyo. He obviously transforms into a cat at this point. She walks away after Kyo yells at her in a fit of anger. At home, Kyo is frustrated with himself for getting angry. Shigeru encourages him to surround himself with people, as it takes training to get along with people. Toru walks back from work in the evening thinking about Kyo and her mother when her walk gets interrupted. Kyo is here and miserably fails at trying to apologize to her. Luckily, she understands what he is trying to say, and they make up after she tells him that she is always like the cat from the Zodiacs. On the other hand, Yuki rejects getting into a relationship with a girl, not letting her touch him so his secret does not get revealed. Kyo cleans the classroom while everyone discusses a previous card game. An argument breaks out between Kyo and Yuki. However, Toru knows that there is more depth to their sudden disagreement. The point of the argument is if Kyo beats Yuki, he will get accepted into the Zodiac. Yuki walks her home from work that evening, and she encourages him to speak out his feelings. He reveals that Akito always kept them far away, where he felt like he was imprisoned in a cage. All he wants is to live a normal life amongst normal people and escape the family, whereas Kyo wants to join the family. Rain interrupts their conversation, and they wait it out at a vegetable plot. As the sky clears, she can clearly spot a smile on Yuki's face. Kagura Soma, who is the boar of the Chinese zodiac, arrives to visit Kyo after learning that he is living with Shigeru. Kyo is not particularly thrilled with this surprise visit. Kagura's reason for arrival is only Kyo, whom she is madly in love with. However, her clumsiness doesn't make her too attractive. On top of that, she is ill-mannered, destructive, and causes a riot wherever she goes. Initially, Kagura doesn't like Toru since she lives near Kyo, causing a spark of jealousy. However, she quickly changes her views after she sees her kindness and befriends her. Finally, her short stay remains brief and she bids goodbye to everyone, much to Kyo's delight, and departs. Toru's grandfather's house renovations are finally complete, and she finally moves back to a real house with an actual roof, as opposed to a tent. Although she doesn't seem too happy with her living status, she has to leave the Soma family, and none of them are joyful with her leaving. Toru reunites with her grandfather and her paternal relatives at the house. Her relatives are mean and cold and view her only as a burden. Toru goes through a series of emotional and verbal abuse at her relatives' hands. Seeing this state of affairs, her grandfather doesn't force her to stay, as she can go wherever she is happier. Yuki and Kyo arrive at the perfect moment when she confesses that she prefers living with the Soma family. The boys couldn't be any happier to hear this. The trio returns to the Soma house, where everyone is now satisfied with their living situation. For the first time, Toru invites her friends Saki and Arisa over to the Soma house. This makes Yuki, Kyo, and Shigeru worried. What if they discover their secret? They try to make the girls comfortable, however, they can't contain their nervousness. They really struggled through this process. The boys get saved by inches numerous times throughout this visit. Arisa and Saki are suspicious, yet unaware about their secret beastly transformations. Meanwhile, Toru is nervous every time there is a close call for the secret to be revealed. None the wiser, Arisa and Seki leave after observing how happy Toru is at the Soma house. An exciting cultural festival is being planned at the high school, and the students try to come up with creative ideas for rice balls. The entire class picks Yuki's hit-or-miss idea over Kyo's all-or-nothing method. Toru likes how much both the guys admire each other, comparing them to rice balls. The cultural festival is launched, and Yuki is humiliated by the fact that he has to wear a dress. Soon enough, Momiji Soma and Hattori Soma arrive to visit. They are the rabbit and dragon of the zodiac. Toru learns from Hattori that Yuki has asthma, which is becoming less dangerous. Momiji transforms into a rabbit after insisting on hugging Toru, and this rabbit creates havoc around the house the whole time. Although, the dragon would have been much worse and much cooler. Yuki has a warning for Toru that she should stay away from Hattori since he is the Soma who erases memories. However, Toru soon worries about losing her memories after Hattori asks her to visit the Soma main house alone. The Soma main house is grand, and Toru is fascinated by it. Moreover, Hattori gives her a little history lesson about the Soma family secret in detail. A bit about Hattori's past is revealed when he tells Toru that Hattori was in love with Kana Soma and had to bear an injury on the left eye by Akito because of this. Kana was a kind soul, blaming herself for Hattori's wounds, and slowly fell into depression. This made Hattori do the unspeakable, which is erasing her memories of their love to lessen her suffering. It begins snowing, and according to Hattori, the resemblance between Kana and Toru is remarkable. He catches Toru when she is about to accidentally fall off the porch and turns into a seahorse instead of a dragon. Shigeru and Momiji arrive there with piping hot drinks when he reverts back. On her way back, Toru catches a glimpse of Akito, but she still hasn't met him formally. It's almost New Year's Day, and the dream team consisting of Tori, Yuki, Kyo, Saki, and Arisa come together to tidy up the Soma house. Toru finds out that the boys will be spending their New Year's Day at a special banquet at the main house. However, it is evident that neither Yuki or Kyo want to go with all their excuses. Shigeru manages to convince them. However, Saki doesn't want them to leave Toru alone, who doesn't have anyone else to celebrate the day with. That's how Shigeru ends up going alone, informing Akito about the boys' absence. Meanwhile, Yuki, Kyo, and Toru watch the sunrise together, welcoming the new year. Yuki has a bad fever, and it is a bad idea for him to go to school. However, Kyo challenges him to a contest about winning the endurance run the next day, making him accept. During the endurance run, Toru also meets the ox of the Chinese zodiac, Hatsuharu Soma. He has difficulty with his directional sense and has finally come back after looking for Kyo for 3 days. He has come to challenge Kyo to a fight, so he trips him intentionally during the contest. Kyo refuses initially, which triggers Black Haru, his dark side. The two begin fighting, while Yuki cannot stand at his 2 feet and collapses. Hatsuharu transforms into an ox to carry him back to the house where he tells Toru how he has come to love Yuki. Toru decides to buy chocolates for the Soma relatives on Valentine's Day to thank them. Kagura is back as well, who Kyo does not want to deal with and refuses to eat the chocolates she brought. A month later, Toru gets an overtime job when Momiji arrives to invite her on a hot springs trip resort for White Day. Of course, Kyo and Yuki are ready to tag along. The boys realize that she has used her job money to buy chocolates for everyone, thus, she hasn't paid the fees for her class trip, as informed by her grandfather. The newly formed group of four, including Toru, Kyo, Yuki, and Momiji, go to their hot springs trip and are shocked by the hostess who keeps apologizing for everything. The hostess soon reveals to Toru that her son is a member of the Chinese Zodiac Club. Toru is too well informed about this club at this point. Later, Yuki surprises her with a gift fit for a princess for White Day, which makes her extremely delighted. Soon she finds out that Momiji and Hatsuharu will be joining their high school the following semester, which leaves her shocked. She actually thought that Momiji was in elementary school, which is a long shot but not completely absurd.